You are watching Melody Lane. With me, you're gonna have a great crafting time.
Well, hello there, everyone. It's Holly with Melody Lane Inspired, and today we're going to go ahead and make a wine bag. Now, we're going to use a few items that were in the Season of Gifting mystery box to go ahead and make this, and this is a perfect gift to give for the holidays. If you've been following along with Cricut's 12 Days of Making, Day 5 was make a gift for your neighbor. And honestly, what more perfect of a gift to give your neighbor? Now, these 3 items here were all included in the Seasons of Gifting Cricut mystery box that just came out, which is still available. So we have the Cricut wine bag here blank, and then we're also going to use the glitter gold iron-on and Kelly green iron-on also. And I wanted to add a few more colors to this, so I'm also going to be using the everyday iron-on in white, and I want to add some more sparkle, so I'm going to be using the Cricut's red glitter iron-on also. Other items I will be using is the Easy Press 3 and my Teflon sheets. So here is the design here I created in Design Space. All of the images and the fonts I used are all part of Cricut Access, which is wonderful. Now I went ahead and measured the wine bag, which is 6 inches by 12 inches. So I decided about 4.5 inches across by 6 inches lengthwise would be a good size. So I just go ahead here and I'm just adjusting it. I did go ahead and unlock my little lock up there so I could rescale it because I did want to make it a little taller, but I didn't want to necessarily make it wider because I wanted to make sure it fit on the wine bag. Now that I'm happy with my size, I'm just going to go ahead and hit make it. Now I like to go ahead here and go ahead and look at all the items on my mat and make sure they're correct. So go ahead and look at each one, make sure it looks good. Now I do want to answer, lots of times we get the question, why are my letters not in the order they are supposed to be? Well, as you can see right there, that is supposed to say Holly. My name is not Yehola. The reason that is because I did not attach the letters to each other. So here I'm just going to go in and I'm ungrouping them. That way I can get to each of just the individual letters. I'm going to click on each of those while holding shift and then I'm going to hit attach. Now when I send it to get cut, it's going to put them in the correct order. And I like to try to not have too many sheets, so I only want to do these in actually 4 different colors. So next to the layers panel is the color sync, and what I'm doing here is just grabbing the individual different colors. There was a few shades of red, a few shades of green, and I'm going ahead and put those all together. Now we are ready to go ahead and cut, so I'm putting that on a mat, and it's a 12 by 12 inch mat because I do not need one larger than that. And for the hat, I'm going to be using everyday iron-on. So I'm going to go ahead and search here in my materials for iron-on. Go ahead and click there. Hit next. You will see here it's reminding you, make sure your mirror is turned on and that your material is shiny side down. So we can go over here and edit our mat here. Down in the bottom left corner right there, we can go ahead and turn our mirror on. It's also letting you know that no tools required in clamp A, and in clamp B you just need the fine point blade. So we're going to go ahead and get our material ready, and then we're going to be able to load our mat. Now first up, we're going to go ahead and cut the little white of Santa's hat. So I just needed a small piece here. So I'm going to go ahead and place this on the mat. Now remember, you are going to do it shiny side facing down because you did mirror the image. That way when we go ahead and iron it on, it is the correct direction. Now you want to go ahead and open your maker there. That way we can go ahead and load the mat. And the load mat button is already lit up. So once I get my mat all in line, I'm just going to go ahead and hit the load button. And it's just going to go ahead and scan the mat here. If you didn't put it on the mat and you're using smart materials, it's not going to scan your mat. It just wants to make sure it has enough mat for the project. After it's done scanning that, it's going to come back over and you are able to hit the go button. So then we're just going to give it a go and off she goes. Now that it's finished cutting, my load button is blinking again, so I can go ahead and unload my mat and just pull it off. I don't know about you guys, but I'd love to use a little project box. So I keep this little handy dandy box next to me, and as I go, I put my pieces in there so they all stay together. Next up, I'm going to be cutting the red glitter iron-on. Now remember, this is all iron-on, so we do need to mirror each one. So I'm going to go ahead and edit the mat. But I also like to go into the mat and see if I can save some space somewhere. Now I can go ahead and move any of the items I want. Here, just to show, I'm going to go ahead and drag the hat in the holly berries. I could have left them next to it. It wouldn't make a big difference. But sometimes when you're cutting a lot of stuff, you can actually save lots of material by go ahead and rearranging your mat some. Once I move those, I'm going to go ahead and turn my mirror on, and then I am ready to go ahead and pick the material that I'm going to cut. So I'm going to go ahead and search iron-on again, and I'm just going to go down until I see the glitter iron-on, which is right there. I'm going to select that. And then it is going to remind you again to make sure the mirror is on and that the shiny side of material is face down. And you're going to still use the fine point blade in clamp B, so you don't have to make any changes there. Now let's go ahead and put our material on the mat, and we are ready to cut. I went ahead and cut down a size for my glitter iron-on to put on my mat here. And I'm applying it to my standard grip mat. Now as I'm applying it, I'm seeing that the top of it just is not sticking right. If you see, it's kind of lifting slightly there. Now this isn't a new mat, it is pretty used, so it's not as sticky as it once was. So I made the decision to go ahead and grab my Cricut Strong Grip mat. That is the purple mat. That has more adhesive and it is going to stick down because that glitter iron-on is thicker than the regular iron-on. This one is sticking down much better, but I always like to take my Cricut brayer, not a brayer, my Cricut brayer, and go ahead and roll over it. And we're going to go ahead and load this mat now. Sometimes just give it a little push, make sure it goes in, make sure it goes straight. If it's not going straight, you can always hit the unload button. Now we're going to use some of that magic of editing, and we're going to go ahead and speed this up a little bit. When it's all finished cutting, we're going to go ahead and unload the mat. And we're just going to go ahead and repeat the same process for the last two colors. Just make sure you choose the right material, whether you're using the glitter or the regular iron-on for this project. Now that we have finished all of our cutting, we are going to go ahead and move on to weeding. So I went ahead and took my piece out of my little project box, and I always like to stick the Cricut weeding tool through and then pull it apart. Be careful that you do not stick it through the back because you can poke yourself, and it is quite sharp, as we all know. So just make sure you kind of go in sideways with it. That's how I prefer to do it. And then we're just going to go ahead and peel off the excess. Now we're going to go ahead and keep that, and that's what we're going to go ahead and use to iron on. And now we're just going to go ahead and keep doing the same thing for each color. So I'm just going to go ahead and weed each one of these. Now this one does have some centers. There's a center of an O in there, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure and take my weeding tool. I'm going to go ahead and pull out those middle parts. But there it is. Is it not sparkly and pretty? I love that. And there's holly. Well, not me, but you know, it's that time of year where I get to use holly on all kinds of different projects. And this is the moment I realize I made an oopsies. Remember that whole mirror your image? Yep, I forgot to do that on that. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut another one. No big deal. It is so very easy to forget to mirror. So a good tip is if you know you're going to be mirroring the whole image, you can go ahead and just flip the images right on the canvas. And then when you go to make it, you don't have to worry about forgetting to mirror it. Just grabbing those little pieces out. I see there's a little tiny piece here in the J that I'm trying to get out. And there we go. That's how it should look. Now to press this, I'm going to be using the Easy Press 3, which is really cool because it works with the Cricut Heat app. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how that works. It's going to go ahead and send the settings right to the heat press and set it for the right temperature and time, which makes it super simple. I'm also going to need the heat pressing mat, which I have here under my wine bag. And I'm also going to go ahead and use a Teflon sheet to go ahead and protect it. If it's your first time using the Cricut Heat app, you're going to go ahead and sign in, and then you're going to go ahead and attach your presses to it. Now I'm going to go ahead and choose Start New Project on this, and I'm going to go ahead and choose my transfer material. When I go over to transfer material, you can see here all sorts of different iron-ons, smart materials. Now for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and choose the glitter iron-on. Then you're going to choose what material you're applying it to. And if I go ahead and scroll down here to the bottom, I will see a list of Cricut blanks. Well, I'm using a Cricut wine bag, so I went ahead and selected wine bag. And it's also letting me know for my work surface I need a Cricut pressing mat, which I have also. If you haven't done this before, it does give you a little tutorial here that you can go ahead and click on. It'll walk you through step by step. The Heat app is really awesome though, because it has detailed instructions right here. You can choose detailed instructions, which I'll show shortly. It's showing you here what temperature you need it to be, how long to preheat it, how long to press it, and if it's warm or cool to peel. Now you can go ahead and scroll down and it'll show you what all you need to complete the project. And then when you're ready and you have everything together, you can go ahead and hit Send Settings to the Easy Press. Make sure your Easy Press is powered on. It does connect through Bluetooth. And then it's showing here that my press is 313 degrees and it is heating up. Once it gets to the correct temperature, it's going to go ahead and show green, and then we'll know we're ready to press. And now it's green, so we are ready to go. So it is telling us to go ahead and preheat the blank for 5 seconds. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do here. As you see, I'm still waiting for the temperature to reach that 330 degrees. So while I'm waiting, I just like to lay out my images and see how exactly spacing and how I want them laid out on the bag so I get an idea. Now those holly leaves aren't actually going to go up there, so I'm going to go ahead and cut those off of the backing. But now that I got it kind of figured out and I see that I'm up to 330 degrees, I am ready to go. So I'm just hitting that go button and it's going to go ahead and preheat for 5 seconds. Don't mind my dumb setup here. I do not know why I put the Easy Press on this side. I was going to switch it after the second step and I was like, that just messes everything up. So I just went with it. So now that it's preheated, I'm going to go ahead and take my design. I want to start with the middle image. For me, it's just easier spacing wise to figure out the middle versus start at the top and see where exactly I'm going to end. Once I'm happy with the location of that, all I have to do is go over to my Easy Press 3, hit the go button again. And then once you hit the go button on here, if you look at your app, you will see it on the app too. It's actually counting down on the app how many seconds you have left also. And it beeped to let me know that I was finished with that step. Now it says to go ahead and flip it over for 15 seconds. However, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to actually wait until my bag is finished and then I'm going to turn it over and press all of them. After it's cool to the touch, then it is ready to peel and then you can go ahead and repeat for the next. Now for this one, I'm going to show we're doing the same thing, but I'm going to use the everyday iron-on. And then I'm going to go ahead and choose the same wine bag blank down here at the bottom. Any Cricut blank that they make, you can go ahead and find it there. And it's letting me know that this one we're going to press at 315 degrees. Now I went ahead and clicked on detailed instructions and it's going to give you just that. You can click here and watch a video tutorial. It's going to list what supplies you need and then it's going to walk you through the preheating to the pressing, to the flip and press, and then even to the cool. So if you are not sure, you can just look at these detailed instructions and it's literally step by step, which I love. It makes it foolproof to miss a step when you can just see them all there right in a row. So we went ahead and set the settings to the heat press. Now this one we're actually waiting for it to cool down a little bit and it's reached 315 degrees now. As you see, it's green. We are ready to go. Just get your next layer laid out exactly where you would like it. And then I'm also going to bring in the Teflon sheet. That is going to protect those other layers. These I purchased on Amazon. I got a 3-pack of them. I think it was like $12. The links are in the video description below. Now while I'm waiting for that to cool before I peel it, I can go ahead and get my next piece in place. Now I could have technically pressed this when I pressed the jolly, because they are both glitter. However, I didn't want any of that plastic to overlap, and it was pretty close. So to be safe, I just went ahead and pressed them separately. If you cut very closely around it and you make sure that your plastic's not going to hit the other one, you could go ahead and press those at the same time and save a step. When things are pretty close, I like to not take a chance and just go ahead and give it a press. It only takes 30 more seconds. And again, I don't need to preheat it because it's still warm from the last press. And then it's just copy and repeat for each of these layers here. Boom, magic. That was the quickest 30 seconds ever. And now it's time, I'm just going to go ahead and put the little white liner of the Santa hat. I went ahead and sliced it through the holly so it fits right in there so it's not overlapping at all. And I just happened to notice my little berries for my holly leaves actually had some little tiny pieces in there that I need to get out. Now you want to make sure you get whatever pieces out you need to weed out before you press it, because once you press it, it is going to be on there. After I pressed that piece and let it cool, I'm going to go ahead and peel that. Now I want to show you that you can adjust the temp and time manually also without the app. So if you have a time where maybe you don't have your phone with you or whatever it may be, you can go ahead and choose the temperature there. Go ahead and change it to what temperature you need. And you can change the time with the button right below that. Now I'm just going to get my pieces in place again. I'm putting the little top of the Santa hat there and the holly berries. Going to cover it again and go ahead and place my Easy Press down. Now I am giving it some pressure here. You do want to make sure also that it is covering your entire image that you're putting down. If it's not, then you're going to split it into different, say if it was larger, you might need to do 2 different pressing areas. I also made sure to get it below the drawstring of the wine bag, just because that would not be like a flat surface then. So make sure that you do have your Easy Press located there, or your auto press if you're using your auto press. Oh, it's looking so good. We're so close. We just have one part left, and that is the holly leaves. These are cool to the touch now, so I'm going to go ahead and peel those and get our last piece of the puzzle put on. Now I'm changing the temp here because this one is regular everyday iron-on, so it is at a lower temp. So I am just waiting for the machine to go ahead and cool down to that 315 degrees. I'm just getting my holly berries in place while I wait for my machine to reach the 315 degrees. And then we will go ahead and be able to press this last piece on. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and cover it one more time. Go ahead and hit the go button. Oh, it is nice. Okay, now that we're all finished with putting all of our pieces on, we are now going to go ahead and flip it over, and we're going to go ahead and do the pressing on the back. So this we're going to go ahead and do for 15 seconds. We can go ahead and flip it over for the reveal. And there is our Holly Jolly Juice. Now I did go ahead, I'm finished now, so I did power off my Easy Press. Good thing is it does have auto shut off though, so if you forget to turn it off, it will turn off on its own. Isn't that cute? Throw a bottle of wine in that, or some sparkling cider even, whatever you choose. Now if somebody was making this for me, I'd have it say, well I wouldn't have it say because I wouldn't be making it, but make it for a Holly and have it say Holly's Jolly Juice. Or maybe there's a Molly's Jolly Juice. Isn't that fun? I love that. I just love the sparkle it gives. It turned out so great. And if you really want to impress them, go ahead and make them some wine glasses also. I have another design, Let's Get Jolly, that I just made that would go perfect on some wine glasses to give with this. Now there is my finished wine bag sitting on my bar in my basement. And there's that Let's Get Jolly design on a wine glass. Would that not be great to give as a set? Now don't forget that this project qualifies for day 5 of Cricut's 12 days of making, the Make a Gift for Your Neighbor. So if you tag it and share it on social media with the hashtag 12 days of making, you could get a chance to win $700 to spend at Cricut. And that is a nice shopping spree. And you can find more info for that in the video description below. Now, all of these projects are included to our supporter projects. So if you go to melodylaneinspired.com, we have over 1,000 different projects there that all of our Patreon supporters get access to, starting at just $2 a month. But not only do you get access to 1,000 projects ready to make, you also get access to our 24/7 crafting Zoom. And what is a crafting Zoom exactly? Well, it's open 24/7. It is a Zoom room we have open for our supporters. So you get to craft in your own home, stay safe, but you get to be social and make great crafty friends. And they have different projects they'll work on together. Sometimes they're working on individual projects. They're helping one another, and sometimes they're just there to lean on each other through life. It's a beautiful place. And we have our ugly Christmas sweater party coming up on our Zoom for our supporters on December 20th. You can make a sweater, you can buy it, it can be a t-shirt, whatever. We're just going to have a good time. For more info on joining the Patreon family, just go ahead and go to patreon.com/melodylane. As always, us at Melody Lane Inspired are extremely thankful for our admins and our supporters. Without you guys, this could not be possible. We hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. I hope I have helped someone today, sent some inspiration to create something, because that's what Melody would want us to do. Always get out there and get crafting. Don't be worried to try it, just give it a try. Worst thing that happens, you mess up a little bit material, and you learn and you try again. We'd appreciate it if you'd give us the like and the subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye. And here's a shout out to our many Platinum Plus subscribers. We have Deidre, Donna, Sherry, Marie, Leslie, Michelle, Irene, Ellen, Julianne, Jennifer, Arlette, Kelly, Angela, Amanda, Regina, Sandy, Lydia, and Monica, Krista, Colleen, Kimberly, Carol, Janet, Teresa, Renee, Misty, Shay, Lee, and Margie. Thank you guys